Going back into training, obviously you wanted to play football. Did you have like any reservations about like going in for a tackle? Was it weird like coming into contact with people after being in lockdown for so long?
Yeah, it was weird. But I think maybe the first day, the first 2 days is really strange, and then after that again it just becomes normal again. It becomes what you're used to again, and once you're out on the pitch, everything else, if you've got any problems in life or anything, most people will vouch for this, that when they're on the pitch they kind of forget about everything, and all the worries go away. So in terms of that, once we get back to playing, from my personal experience, that's all I'm concentrating on when I'm on the pitch.
This is probably the most exotic interview I've done. I'm with Nick Blackman, all the way from Israel. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. I'm very well, thank you. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm very good, thank you. I wish I had the weather you had out there.
Yeah, I can't complain too much at the moment. It's quite warm, but when you're running, you're not too happy at it being so hot.
How is it being in lockdown in Israel? Are your family there? How are things?
I'm out here on my own. It's been fine. I've always been one of those kind of people who've enjoyed my alone time. Obviously, that being said, I've had more than enough of it now. So as of maybe 10 days ago, the lockdown was slightly lifted. We've gone back into training. They've announced that the football season will resume, the final 10 games, which the first game is due to be played on the 30th of this month. So, we're kind of slowly kind of getting back to what we knew life as before.
For people who might not know your career path, can you like talk us through it, and how did you end up, because you play for a massive club?
Yeah, so from the beginning?
Yeah, we have time if you don't mind.
Yeah, no problem. I came through at United in the academy, and I got released there when I was 14. I then spent a couple of years with not being attached to any club, going on trial here and there, and then I wrote a letter. It was my last chance, basically, before I was going to go to college and maybe play non-league. So I wrote a letter to Macclesfield Town. They replied, and I went in there a few days later. A week later, I signed. They offered me a contract after being there for a week, and then I signed a professional contract a couple of months after that. Paul Ince then came in as the manager. I was meant to go with him at the end of the season to MK Dons. I got injured in pre-season playing football with some friends during the off season, so I didn't recover for about 6 months till after that. And then by then he'd done really well with MK Dons, gone to Blackburn Rovers. So he took me to Blackburn Rovers on trial. Everything was agreed after a week of me training there, but I'd missed the transfer window, so I'd had to wait until the January to officially sign.
Okay.
Paul Ince then gets sacked about 6 weeks after that. Sam Allardyce comes in. He kept the original contract, which I'm obviously forever grateful for. And then from Blackburn, I went on loan to Blackpool. I then went on loan to Oldham, Motherwell, Aberdeen. I then signed permanently for Sheffield United when they were in League One at the time. I signed for them in August. And then that January, I moved to Reading in the Premier League. And then I did 3 years at Reading, and then signed for Derby. I did three and a half years at Derby with a loan to Maccabi Tel Aviv originally. And then the following season, I went on loan to Sporting Gijon. Then my Derby county contract expired this summer, and I signed permanently at Maccabi Tel Aviv.
A lot of clubs.
I've had a few clubs. a few experiences.
You were being very modest there. You scored a lot of goals on the way. That's why you kept getting the moves, wasn't it?
For me, obviously being switched between left wing, right wing, and striker. So throughout my career, when I played on the wings, I've tended to perform really well, but not really get the numbers. And then when you look at my stats, the numbers that came of when I've actually had a run of games, playing up front. So that obviously is my preferred position. But throughout my career, I've been played on either side, which I'd prefer to play through the middle if we just say that.
And where have you been playing for Maccabi?
I've been playing through the middle. Started the season off really well in Europe. Started off scoring, and then I picked up an injury. And by the time I picked up an injury, played for Barbados on national team duty. And by the time I came back, we were top of the league, flying, and couldn't get back in. And we sustained it. We sustained it all the way through. Now it looks like for the final 10 games of the season, there's an opportunity there for me to take. So it's one I'm relishing the opportunity of potentially playing in these final 10 games.
Really interesting career journey, and obviously the position you're in now. But bring it back to kind of where we are during coronavirus and lockdown. How has Tel Aviv and you yourself, have you been dealing with the measures?
Yeah, it was difficult at first. Obviously, everything was really restricted. There was one time I actually went out to go on a jog, and 2 police bikes pulled up right next to me, literally within 2 minutes of me leaving my apartment, and they told me that I wasn't allowed to leave my apartment complex within 100 meters. So the club kindly gave us some spinning bikes, and we did the training sessions all together over Zoom. So that kind of gave me some sanity to keep fit and to channel some aggression and some energy somehow. But other than that, I was playing in Spain last year, so I brushed up a little bit on my Spanish on Duolingo. A lot of Netflix got watched, and just obviously keeping in contact with friends and family back home as well. And
I went to Tel Aviv last year. It's like an unbelievable place. Do you like it? Can you see yourself staying there for a few years?
Yes, absolutely. It's a fantastic place. It's a really, really crazy place. It's always alive. It just doesn't sleep. Weather's fantastic. I'm really happy here. I'm really enjoying my time here, and it's just something that whilst I'm here right now, I'm just making sure I'm making the most of it and just really enjoying this moment.
It's a really diverse area, isn't it? There's just different cultures, different people all over the place. You've got Tel Aviv is really modern city centre, and then 40 minutes away you've got Jerusalem.
Yeah, you kind of go from one scale to another, and there's real extreme scales. So there's a lot of eccentric characters. Everyone's kind of just really free to express themselves here without judgment. It's something that I enjoy. I enjoy obviously the weather. The lifestyle is fantastic, and most importantly, doing what I love out here as well.
I've been to the training complex. I went to the winter tournament the academy does, but Maccabi's got a really good setup, hasn't it? It's a Champions League club.
Yeah, it's a fantastic club. Obviously, with the support and the fan base, and we just moved into a new stadium, which is 30,000 seater stadium, which is pretty much full most weeks. And the atmosphere that those guys create, there's some the fanatic fans, they're real hardcore fans, so they're obviously amazing to play in front of. But yeah, the club is structured. It was in the Champions League as of, I think it was 2016 was the last time they were in there, and then they've been in the Europa League the last couple of years, and they missed out. I think they missed out last season as well. So that's something that whilst I'm here, I definitely want to experience again. Obviously, having played in the Europa League with them first time round, it's something that I'd like to go one better and qualify for a Champions League campaign.
Going back into training, what are the restrictions in place? Are you training normally? Do you have to wear face masks, gloves? What's going on?
For the first week when we went back, we were split into 3 groups, and we all had to obviously park in different parts of the training complex. And then each group was separated on the pitch, and we could only work within our groups. This was no contact training, so a lot of running, which wasn't too great. But
not the best thing to get back.
No, definitely not. Not after a couple of months as well. We've not running. But as the lockdown's been eased and the restrictions have been eased, we've slowly got back into contact training as of the last 2 days. Which is really good. It's really good to be back doing what we can do fully. So yeah, it's a bit strange, obviously, with regarding that there are some restrictions still going on out now for the general public, but we're fully able to go into physical contact into sports. But as soon as you step away from the football pitch, you're back into being obviously a person of the general public, and you have to follow the restrictions. So that's a bit weird, having been on both sides of it.
Going back into training, obviously you want to play football. Did you have like any reservations about like going in for a tackle? Was it weird like coming into contact with people after being in lockdown for so long?
Yeah, it was weird. But I think maybe the first day, the first 2 days is really strange, and then after that, again, it just becomes normal again. It becomes what you're used to again, and once you're out on the pitch, everything else. If you've got any problems in life or anything, most people will vouch for this, that when they're on the pitch, they kind of forget about everything, and all their worries go away. So in terms of that, once we get back to playing, from my personal experience, that's all I'm concentrating on when I'm on the pitch.
The games coming at the end of the month, are they behind closed doors?
They're all behind closed doors. We're currently 6 points clear at the top of the league, so potentially we have the opportunity to win the second championship in a row. So that, without thinking too far ahead, if we do win that, it'll be strange to celebrate and to have those kind of things go on without fans there. With that being said, our fans do play a massive role for us, as obviously they're very intimidating for the opponents. So yeah, it's going to be strange. It's going to be something that I don't think I've ever had before at a professional level. So yeah, it's something that I think we've all got to embrace and just make the best of the opportunity. And as being said, it is still a game of football.
Yeah, that will be strange. You might like lifting the title we used to have in Fanatics and just hearing yourselves cheer. Obviously, it won't take away from the achievement, but it'll be so weird.
Yeah, I don't even know whoever wins it. Hopefully, it is us. We don't know how we're going to be able to celebrate, if we are going to be able to celebrate, because we've been told through the guidelines when we score, etc., that we can't come into physical contact with our teammates to celebrate, and just little things like that. There's social distancing in the changing room before the games, but when we're on the pitch, where there's no, obviously you can't social distance on a pitch. So it's a bit strange, and there's a few raised eyebrows there at some of the rules that have been put in place, but they've all been put in place in good faith, and the most important thing from a sporting perspective is that we can play, but obviously from the health side, we have to make sure that a lot of people are dying from this every day, so we have to make sure that this is something that we can control, and it is done correctly if it's going to be done.
With that, and not being able to social distance with your teammates, other clubs, is there like a testing protocol in place? Is everyone being tested?
Yeah, we've been tested a couple of times, which really isn't pleasant. They stick the thing up your nose and down your throat. So I've had that done twice, and I can honestly say that I never want that done again. Hopefully, they don't make us have that done again. So yeah, everyone's being tested. We're tested daily. The temperatures are taken daily before we go into training. So they're doing everything they can to kind of contain everything as best as we can. And yeah, we'll just praying that everyone stays healthy, and yeah, we can keep moving forward.
In England, they're talking about Project Restart and the Premier League. You're playing in a league that's going to like resume this month. What do you think should happen with the Prem? I'm guessing for Liverpool fans who are clear at the top as well.
Yeah, obviously being a United fan, it's a tough one, but I think on merit, if the league doesn't start, they have to be awarded a title. They have to be there. I know it's still mathematically possible to be caught, but if we're being honest, more than likely they were gonna win it anyway. So I think obviously it's for the governing bodies there to decide what they think are the best measures. Also, the players have to be comfortable and confident playing in it, and obviously from a business point of view, there's a lot of money at stake. So with all those things taken into consideration, I'm sure that people in the right places will decide that. And playing the Premier League, obviously being the most watched league in the world, to have that without fans would definitely be interesting, to say the least. So yeah, I think the right people will make the right decisions when the time calls for it.
Perfect. Well, you give me loads of stuff to go away and think about. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I hope you win the title.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Pleasure.
Catch you soon, Nick.
All right, you too. Thank you, Alex.